ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ। ਰਾਗ ਸੂਹੀ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਤੀਜਾ। ਘਰ ਦਸਵਾਂ। ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ। ਦੁਨੀਆ ਨਾ ਸਾਲਾਹੇ ਜੋ ਮਰ ਵੰਜਸੀ। ਲੋਕਾ ਨਾ ਸਾਲਾਹੇ ਜੋ ਮਰ ਖਾਖ ਥੀ। ਵਾਹੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਾਹਿਬਾ ਵਾਹੋ, ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਸਦਾ ਸਲਾਹੀਐ ਸੱਚਾ ਵੇ ਪਰਵਾਹੋ ਰਹਾਉ। ਦੁਨੀਆ ਕੇਰੀ ਦੋਸਤੀ ਮਨਮੁਖ ਦਜ ਮਰਨ। ਜਮਪੁਰ ਬੱਦੇ ਮਾਰੀਐ ਵੇਲਾ ਨਾ ਲਾਹਨ। ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਜਨਮ ਸਕਾਰ ਥਾ ਸੱਚਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਲਗਨ। ਆਤਮ ਰਾਮ ਪ੍ਰਗਾਸਿਆ ਸਹਜੇ ਸੁਖ ਰਹਨ। ਗੁਰ ਕਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਵਿਸਾਰਿਆ ਦੂਜੈ ਭਾਏ ਰਚਨ। ਤਿਸ਼ਨਾ ਭੁਖ ਨਾ ਉਤਰੈ ਅਨ ਦਿਨ ਜਲਤ ਫਿਰਨ। ਦੁਸ਼ਟਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਦੋਸਤੀ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਤਾ ਵੈਰ ਕਰਨ। ਆਪ ਡੁੱਬੇ ਕੁਟੰਬ ਸਿਉ ਸਗਲੇ ਕੁਲ ਡੋਬਨ। ਨਿੰਦਾ ਭਲੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਕੀ ਨਾਹੀ ਮਨਮੁਖ ਮੁਗਧ ਕਰਨ। ਮੂੰਹ ਕਾਲੈ ਤਿਨ ਨਿੰਦਕਾ ਨਰਕੇ ਘੋਰ ਪਵਨ। ਏ ਮਨ ਜੈਸਾ ਸੇਵਹਿ ਤੈਸਾ ਹੋਵਹਿ ਤੇਹ ਕਰਮ ਕਮਾਏ। ਆਪ ਬੀਜ ਆਪੇ ਹੀ ਖਾਵਣਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕਿਛੂ ਨਾ ਜਾਏ। ਮਹਾਂਪੁਰਖਾਂ ਕਾ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਹੋਵੈ ਕਿਤੇ ਪਰਥਾਏ। ਓਏ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਭਰੇ ਭਰਪੂਰ ਹੈ ਉਨਾ ਤਿਲ ਨਾ ਤਮਾਏ। ਗੁਣਕਾਰੀ ਗੁਣ ਸੰਗ੍ਰਹਿ ਅਵਰਾ ਉਪਦੇਸਨ। ਸੇਵਡ ਭਾਗੀ ਜੇ ਉਨਾ ਮਿਲ ਰਹੇ ਅਨੰਦ ਨਾਮ ਲੈਨ। ਦੇਸੀ ਰਿਜ਼ਕ ਸੰਭਾਹੇ ਜਿਨੁ ਪਾਈ ਮੇਦਨੀ। ਏਕੋ ਹੈ ਦਾਤਾਰ ਸੱਚਾ ਆਪ ਧਣੀ। ਸੋ ਸੱਚ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਲ ਹੈ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਨਦਰ ਨਿਹਾਲ। ਆਪੇ ਬਖਸ਼ੇ ਮੇਲ ਲੈ ਸੋ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਸਦਾ ਸਮਾਲ। ਮਨ ਮੈਲਾ ਸਚ ਨਿਰਮਲਾ ਕਿਉ ਕਰ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਜਾਏ। ਪ੍ਰਭ ਮੇਲੇ ਤਾਂ ਮਿਲ ਰਹਿ ਹਉਮੈ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਜਲਾਏ। ਸੋ ਸ਼ੋ ਸੱਚਾ ਵੀਸਰੈ ਤ੍ਰਿਗ ਜੀਵਨ ਸੰਸਾਰ। ਨਦਰ ਕਰੇ ਤਾ ਵੀਸਰੈ ਗੁਰਮਤੀ ਵਿਚਾਰ। ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਮੇਲੇ ਤਾਂ ਮਿਲ ਰਹਾ ਸਾਚ ਰੱਖਾ ਉਰ ਧਾਰ। ਮਿਲਿਆ ਹੋਏ ਨਾ ਵਿਛੜੈ ਗੁਰ ਕੈ ਹੇਤ ਪਿਆਰ। ਪਿਰਸਾ ਲਾਹੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਗੁਰ ਕੈ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਵਿਚਾਰ। ਮਿਲ ਪ੍ਰੀਤਮ ਸੁਖ ਪਾਇਆ ਸੋ ਬਾਵੰਤੀ ਨਾਰ। ਮਨਮੁਖ ਮਨ ਨਾ ਭਿਜਈ ਅਤ ਮੈਲੇ ਚਿਤ ਕਠੋਰ। ਸੱਪੈ ਦੁੱਧ ਪਿਆਈਐ ਅੰਦਰ ਵਿਸ ਨਿਕੋਰ। ਆਪ ਕਰੇ ਕਿਸ ਆਖੀਐ ਆਪੇ ਬਖਸ਼ਣਹਾਰ। ਗੁਰ ਸ਼ਬਦੀ ਮੈਲ ਉਤਰੈ ਤਾ ਸੱਚ ਬਣਿਆ ਸਿੰਗਾਰ। ਸੱਚਾ ਸ਼ਾਹੋ ਸੱਚੇ ਵਣਜਾਰੇ ਉਥੈ ਕੂੜੇ ਨਾ ਟਿਕਨ। ਉਨਾ ਸੱਚ ਨਾ ਭਾਵਈ ਦੁਖ ਹੀ ਮਾਹੇ ਪਚਨ। ਹਉਮੈ ਮੈਲਾ ਜਗ ਫਿਰੈ ਮਰ ਜੰਮੇ ਵਾਰੋ ਵਾਰ। ਪਿਆ ਕਿਰਤ ਕਮਾਵਣਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਮੇਟਣ ਹਾਰ। ਸੰਤਾ ਸੰਗਤ ਮਿਲ ਰਹਿ ਤਾ ਸੱਚ ਲੱਗੇ ਪਿਆਰ। ਸੱਚ ਸਲਾਹੀ ਸੱਚ ਮਨ ਦਰ ਸੱਚੈ ਸਚਿਆਰ। ਗੁਰ ਪੂਰੇ ਪੂਰੀ ਮਤ ਹੈ ਅਹਨਿਸ ਨਾਮ ਧਿਆਏ। ਹਉਮੈ ਮੇਰਾ ਵੱਡ ਰੋਗ ਹੈ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋ ਠਾਕ ਰਹਾਏ। ਗੁਰ ਸਾਲਾਹੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਨਿਵ ਨਿਵ ਲਾਗਾ ਪਾਏ। ਤਨ ਮਨ ਸੌਂਪੀ ਆਗੈ ਧਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋ ਆਪ ਗਵਾਏ। ਖਿੰਚੋ ਤਾਣ ਵਿਗੁੱਚੀਐ ਇੱਕ ਸਿਓ ਲਿਵ ਲਾਏ। ਹਉਮੈ ਮੇਰਾ ਛੱਡ ਤੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਸੱਚ ਰਹਿ ਸਮਾਏ। ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੇ ਸੇ ਭਾਇਰਾ ਸੱਚਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਲਗਨ। ਸੱਚ ਮਿਲੇ ਸੇ ਨਾ ਵਿਛੜ ਹੈ ਦਰ ਸੱਚਾ ਦਿਸਨ। ਸੇ ਭਾਈ ਸੇ ਸੱਜਣਾ ਜੋ ਸੱਚਾ ਸੇਵਨ। ਅਵਗਣ ਵਿਕਣ ਪਲਰਨ ਗੁਣ ਕੀ ਸਾਂਝ ਕਰਨ। ਗੁਣ ਕੀ ਸਾਂਝ ਸੁਖ ਊਪਜੈ ਸੱਚੀ ਭਗਤ ਕਰੇਨ। ਸੱਚ ਵਣੰਜ ਹੈ ਗੁਰ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸਿਓ ਲਾਹਾ ਨਾਮ ਲੈਨ। ਸੋਇ ਨਾ ਰੂਪਾ ਪਾਪ ਕਰ ਕਰ ਸੰਚੀਐ ਚੱਲੇ ਨਾ ਚਲਦਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ। ਬਿਨ ਨਾਵੈ ਨਾਲ ਨਾ ਚਲਸੇ ਸਭ ਮੁੱਠੀ ਜਮਕਾਲ। ਮਨ ਕਾ ਤੋਸਾ ਹਰ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ ਹਿਰਦੇ ਰਖੋ ਸਮਾਲ। ਇਹੋ ਖਰਚ ਅਖੁੱਟ ਹੈ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਨਿਭੈ ਨਾਲ। ਇਹ ਮਨ ਮੂਲ ਹੋ ਭੁੱਲਿਆ ਜਸ ਹੈ ਪਤ ਗਵਾਏ। ਇਹੋ ਜਗਤ ਮੋਹੇ ਦੂਜੇ ਵਿਆਪਿਆ। ਗੁਰਮਤੀ ਸੱਚ ਧਿਆਏ ਹਰ ਕੀ ਕੀਮਤ ਨਾ ਪਵੈ। ਹਰ ਜਸ ਲਿਖਣ ਨਾ ਜਾਏ। ਗੁਰ ਕੈ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਮਨ ਤਨ ਰਪੈ ਹਰ ਸਿਉ ਰਹਿ ਸਮਾਏ। ਸੋ ਸ਼ੋਹ ਮੇਰਾ ਰੰਗੁਲਾ ਰੰਗੇ ਸਹਿਜ ਸੁਭਾਏ। ਕਾਮਣ ਰੰਗ ਨਾ ਚੜੈ ਜਾ ਪਿਰ ਕੇ ਅੰਕ ਸਮਾਏ। ਕਾਮਣ ਰੰਗ ਤਾਂ ਚੜੈ ਜਾ ਪਿਰ ਕੇ ਅੰਕ ਸਮਾਏ। ਚਿਰੀ ਵਿਛੁੰਨੇ ਭੀ ਮਿਲਨ ਜੋ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸੇਵਨ। ਅੰਤਰ ਨਵ ਨਿਦ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ ਖਾਨ ਖਰਚਣ ਨਾ ਨਿਖੁਟਈ। ਹਰ ਗੁਣ ਸਹਿਜ ਰਵਨ। ਨਾ ਓਏ ਜਨਮ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਮਰ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਓਏ ਦੁਖ ਸਹਨ। ਗੁਰ ਰਾਖੇ ਸੇ ਉਬਰੇ ਹਰ ਸਿਓ ਕੇਲ ਕਰਨ। ਸੱਜਣ ਮਿਲੇ ਨਾ ਵਿਛੜ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਅਣ ਦਿਨ ਮਿਲੇ ਰਹਨ। ਇਸ ਜਗ ਮਹਿ ਵਿਰਲੇ ਜਾਣੀਐ ਹੈ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੱਚ ਲਹਨ। ਸੱਜਣ ਮਿਲੇ ਨਾ ਵਿਛੜ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਅਣ ਦਿਨ ਮਿਲੇ ਰਹਨ। ਇਸ ਜਗ ਮਹਿ ਵਿਰਲੇ ਜਾਣੀਐ ਹੈ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੱਚ ਲਹਨ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, today's Pavan Pavitra Hukamnama Sahib from Sachkhand Sri Harmandir Sahib starts on Ang 755 and then continues onto Ang 756. This Hukamnama, Sangat ji, is 34 paudiyan and it's blessed to us by Guru Amar Das ji, Tijje Sache Paatshah, our third Guru Sahiban. It's in Suhi Rag, the Rag of love. So let's listen to what Guru Amar Das ji Paatshah ji is saying to us today. Rag Suhi Mahalla Tija Kar Dasma Ek Onkar Sadguru Prasad. Prasad with the grace, with the kirpa of the Satguru, of the Guru of truth. Can we meet and realize that one that we have all come from? Dunya na salahe jo mar vanjasi. Guru Amar Das ji Paatshah saying, Dunya na salahe. They said, don't praise that world. Don't praise that world that jo mar vanjasi, that is going to come to an end. That is going to come to pass, that is going to die. Because what happens is, Sangat ji, when we get caught up in praising that thing that is going to come to an end, it means that we get caught up, we get attached to that. That is here just for a few days, that is impermanent, and that will then bring us pain and suffering. Loka na salahe. Paatshah ji saying, don't praise the lok, the people of this world. Kende jo mar khak thi. Those that are going to become khak, that are going to die. Mar meaning die. Khak, Sangat ji, can translate. Khak literally translates to ash, or it can be translated to dust. Those people that you are praising, Maharaj is saying, meaning that it's coming from a place of attachment. and you are forgetting the one that is within them. That is the creator behind, that is the reason, that is the karan behind everything. And in this way, will actually end up suffering. Then Guru Amar Das Ji Paatshah kende Vaho mere sahiba Vaho. Vaho Sangat Ji, ਇਹਨੂੰ ਅਚਰਜ ਰੂਪ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ। ਅਚਰਜ ਰੂਪ ਦਾ ਭਾਵ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ when our heart lights up in awe of something. Guru Amar Das Ji Paatshah connecting to that one that is behind everything, that is the cause of everything, that is the karan. Guru Amar Das Ji Paatshah Ji, in the realization of that one within everything, they're saying wow, saying wow. It's ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵਾਹ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਆ, ਵਾਹ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਇੱਕ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਆ ਇੱਕ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਦੀ। ਵਾਹ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ is actually a state of mind. Vaah is a place, a state that we reach when we really connect to that one. Even if we're looking at the dharti, even if we're looking at the earth, even if we're looking at the loka, the people of this world, but then behind that we can realize what the truth is behind all of that. And then Sangaji, from inside, from deep inside, and we're looking at this whole play, and then we say Vah. And that's what Guru Amar Das Ji Paatshah is saying to us, and that's where they want to take us. Kende Vaho mere sahiba. Sahiba means, oh my master, the one that is in charge of everything. Kende Vah, wow. Kende Gurmukh sada salahiye sacha ve parvah. Kende a Gurmukh is that, the one that is centered around the Guru, who takes their teachings and wisdom from the Guru, the ones that are enlightened through the Guru. What do they do instead? Kende Gurmukh sada salahiye. They're in constant praise of what? Of sacha ve parvah, of sacha, of the one that is the truth, the one that does not come and the one that does not go. That Vaheguru Ji kende ke sacha ve parvah. Sangat Ji, and that one is ve parvah. That one isn't ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਮੁਤਾਜਗੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਸ ਇੱਕ ਨੂੰ ਮੁਤਾਜਗੀ means that one doesn't need the support of anything, anyone. That one, often when we praise somebody, it's to get something out of them. It's to try and encourage them. Or Sangat Ji, it's all about what can I get from them. But Vaheguru Ji is that one that is complete. But when we connect and we praise that one that is complete and veparva, that doesn't need anyone's support, that is completely independent and is carefree. And carefree meaning is enjoying the whole creation without getting attached to it. So that's where Guru Sahib Ji is saying, that's where praise will take us. It will take us to a place of becoming carefree in this world. Rahao Paatshah kende bisram leke kende isnu tusi vicharo. They said contemplate that deeply inside of you. Dunya keri dosti. Dunya, Sangat Ji, keri da ithe arthya di. They're saying that the friendship with this world. If we try and make friends with this world, Paatshah is saying kende dunya keri dosti. The friendship with this world, kende manmukh daj maran. Kende, who is it that makes friends with this actual world? What does that mean, to make friends with this world? Meaning that they set and they put all their hopes within this world. They put all their hopes within the people of this world. And for them, that is their true friendship. Are these people that are constantly changing. Those that actually change physically to old age and then actually leave this world. Those that are constantly changing where their mind is concerned, what they think about life, what they believe one day, and then another day they stop believing. So Paatshah is saying, that one that is self-centered, that whole life revolves around them. They end up making friends with that is not going to remain here forever. Meaning, Sangat Ji, just like Paatshah say to us in Asa Ki War, kis naal kiche dosti, sab jag challan har. Paatshah Ji saying, kis naal kiche dosti. Who are you meant to become friends with? Sangat Ji, that does not mean that we don't have any friends in this world. But remember, we don't have any enemies in this world as well. Often, those that actually say that they see somebody to be their friend, they are the ones that actually see someone to be their enemy as well. Those that they see as their friends today and tomorrow they become something else. But Pachaji is saying here, can they look deeper than that? Look deeper into what is the truth here. Have that undiscriminating love for all equally, and not getting attached to certain individual things or someone in this world. Pacha kende kis naal kiche dost di sab jag challan haar. Kende when everything that is in this world is going to be leaving, is going to be going one day. So how can you put your hopes into one person to be? When we say friend, Sangaji, we're talking about somebody to be our companion. But our true companion is that one that is sitting inside of us. So, and then Pachaji is saying that even look, can they open your eyes? Can they kood miya, kood bibi, khap hoye khar. Can they kood miya? Miya Sangaji means your husband. Can they, you put all your hopes in your husband? Can they, but that husband is kood. Kood Sangaji means that that husband is forever changing. That husband cannot remain here, is not going to be here forever. You might leave before them and they won't come with you. They might leave before you and you won't be going alongside with them. Sangaji, but it doesn't mean that we don't have a relationship with someone. Instead, that relationship in this realization becomes so beautiful, because then there's no expectation and hope. That, remember, not having an expectation doesn't mean not working together in a relationship. Obviously, to run a household and to run and to be in a healthy relationship, obviously we come to an understanding with each other and share the household chores or duties or whatever it may be. I'm not talking about that type of expectation. If I'm expecting them to fulfill me with contentment, if I'm expecting them for them to fill me with love, then Sangaji, if I'm expecting them to be here for me forever, we don't know what's going to happen to them in the future. They might end up with some form of disease. They might get Alzheimer's where they actually even forget who I am. Or then that relationship becomes a dream, like it then is like, who is this person? They don't even know who I am anymore. Sangaji, so Pachi kende kood miya. Kende in that sense, kende just always keep in mind, yes, have that unconditional, shower them with that love, but having that hope that they are going to fulfill me and they are going to be that one here for me forever. But Pachi kende kood miya, kende kood, that's false. What you are thinking, and it's false that they are permanent. But the jyot that sits inside of them is permanent. That's why Sangatji, every time we meet each other, and I was saying to somebody the other day, I was saying it's not about the words that we exchange. Somebody could say Fateh Guru Di Fateh, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. But as we are saying these words, somebody could say Sat Sri Akal, somebody could say Namaste, somebody could say Namaskar, Namaskaram, whatever it is that how they actually meet and greet each other. But the truth is that true greeting is that one that takes us into a place of humility and we humble ourselves before them. So it's not the actual words that we use, it's are we connected to those words, and are those words actually taking us to that place? When we say Fateh, are we actually connecting to Vaheguru? And when we put our hands down, this is a type of bhakti, this is a type of worship. Putting our hands together, clasping our hands together and going and bowing down, we're bowing down to the jyot, to the light that is sitting inside of them. Whether you're saying Namaste, Namaste means to bow, but you're bowing and recognizing the light that is permanent. Kood Miya, Kood Bibi. But Pachi says if you do get caught up and you place your complete and entire hopes in these relationships that are not permanent, then khap hoye khar, then you'll be ruined. So then Guru Amar Das Ji Pachi Ji kende dunya keri dostati manmukh daj maran. In that way, those that do not recognize this, daj, they are burning, maran, they are dying. What type of life is that, to be living a life like that? That's just burning every moment and dying every moment. Jampur badde mariye hai, vela na lahan, vela na lahan. Sangat Ji means that this moment, this very moment now, This moment is called life. This breath is called life that we are taking now. And Pachi is saying this vela, this time is not going to come back. Pachi say kende waqt, the one that keeps their waqt in mind. Pachi kende asal vich banda hi onnu kende ya. Kende waqt vichare so banda hue. Pachi say to us, kende waqt vichare so banda hue. Pachi saying kende a banda is only that person. Banda Sangaji means a slave if we look at it literally from the Farsi language. But Banda Sangaji here means that one that has got breath inside of them, that makes up this person. It's due to their breath. And they're so banda hue. A banda is that one that what? Waqt means moment now that is so precious. It's not going to come back. So reflect on how are you living your life. Is this how you want to be living it? Are you living it filled with hatred towards others? Or are you, because if that's how we are living, if we are living filled with hatred, now I can't stand that person, or I hate him. If that's how we are living, then this is what's going to happen. When we are taken into that, pur means place, jam of the messengers of death, meaning when the time of death comes for us, what will happen? Badde mariye hai, badde will be bound, mariye hai, and will be beaten. What does that mean? When we haven't made use of this time that we have now, when that time of death comes, we are going to regret that look how I used my life, look how I used my breaths. That time is not going to come back. And then we're going to be in regret because we're going to be thinking, what have I done? And in that moment, you're going to be thinking that I want that time to come back now. I want an opportunity of that life again. But because the training, the Simran Sangaji, the remembrance inside was of hatred, of these type of emotions towards other people. And now we've got no power over death, and it's taking us and dragging us, and it feels like we've been bound, feels like we've been tied up, and we feel trapped now in that moment. Sangat ji, Jampur badde mariye vela na lahan, Gurmukh janam sakar tha, sache shabad lagan. But Gurmukh is that the one that is centered around the Guru. Gurmukh janam sakar tha, their life became completely sakar tha, fruitful. Completely, every breath that they took was worthwhile. It didn't go to waste. Why? Because sacha, they took the shabad. They took the shabad of the Guru that connected to them, to Vaheguru Ji. Lagan means they attached themselves to the Guru's word, and that's why their life became fruitful. Atam Ram Pragasya Sahaje Sukh Rahan. Pachi Singh, Atam Ram Pragasya. Pragasya we can translate here to when you come into the realization. Atam Ram. Ram Sangaji translates to Vaheguru Ji. That Ram that is pervading everywhere. That Vaheguru Ji that is everywhere. And I then came through the Guru, I came into this realization, Pragasya, what? Of my own Atma. I realized, oh wow, that my own Atma is form of that Paramatma. That there's a little piece of that Paramatma inside of me, of Vaheguru Ji inside of me, of God inside of me. Atam Ram Pragasya Sahaja Sukh Rahan. Only with that realization, I then reached a place of Sahaj, where I became completely balanced. I became completely centered, meaning no ups and downs now. Sukh Rahan, and then I started to experience bliss. Gurka Shabad Visarya. Then Pachi saying, Gurka Shabad Visarya. But those that actually separated themselves from the Guru's word, what happened? Dujje Pai. And then they ended up falling in love with Dujje, with duality, with that is not going to remain forever. Rachan, and completely imbued themselves in that. Tishna Pukhna Utre. Their Tishna, their burning desires, their Pukh, their hungers, na Utre. they're not going to be extinguished in that way. And then day and night, they're wandering and they're going round in circles, in burning, in trying to accumulate more and more worldly wealth. That's not just wealth, but whatever other pleasures of this world, expecting it to satisfy them. Dushta naal dosti, and what do? They make dosti, they make friends with dusht, they make friends with those that are actually enemies, not realizing that these enemies are looting us. They make friends with kaam, with sexual desires, they make friends with lobh, with greed, with more, with attachment, with anger, with arrogance, with pride, with ego. They become friends with those. Kende naal santa, kende dushta naal dosti, naal santa vair karan. And who do they have enmity with? They have enmity with sants, the qualities inside of us, the virtues. They don't go anywhere near things like compassion. And then when somebody's got no compassion inside of their heart, because they've got enmity towards these things, they've obviously drowned themselves, and then they drown their entire family with them. And then that has an effect for even the generations to come in their family, and they drown them too. Sangatji, so what that means is that when somebody themselves in a household, because the effect of who we associate with is so deep, and so what happens is one person in the household is like that, is completely just centered around themselves, and they're wasting their life with dusht. They've made friends with anger and all of these things, and then what happens is they spread their energy around their whole household, and then there's a potentially Sangaji, there's then a good chance where then those that are around may not be getting any other sangat, and they end up becoming that way too. So sometimes you'll see a parent that is constantly living in fear and anxiety, and you'll see that then rub off on the children too. Unless Sangaji, they've got very, very strong karam from the past. They've got karma that is carrying with them the impressions of their life experiences from the past lives, and those are very strong. Or Sangaji, then they end up in other sangat when then they can escape from that. So this isn't like a guarantee that that the whole family will drown. So I thought I better quickly translate that, because I had a feeling that would bring questions back otherwise. Ninda pali kise ki nahi. And Guru Amar Das Ji Paj saying slandering anyone isn't a good thing. Sometimes you think, oh, but that person's a really bad person. That person is such and such. Because often people say we shouldn't be slandering saints and we should be careful. But Guru Amar Das Ji Paj said, not true. They said you shouldn't be slandering anyone. No matter what judgment you have brought within your mind for them, it's never going to be good to slander anyone, no matter what they are like. Saying it's only those that follow their own mind, those mugds, those absolute fools, Guru Amar Das Ji Paj saying Quran, that actually do this, that slander other people. Their faces are blackened. Sangaji, what does it mean when somebody's face is black? Meaning from inside, they become dark and black. If you look at somebody, if you're in the company of somebody that is constantly slandering and talking about other people in a negative manner, you don't feel this rush of loving energy from them. It's like this darkness that is surrounding them. And in that way, they end up in these crazy types of hells, Guru Amar Das Ji Paj is saying. And that could Sangaji translate to the way they are living their life in this world. They are living, and that is living a life of being in hell. And then this isn't such a powerful Pankti, Sangaji, out of the complete hukamnama, which, as you can see, that each hukamnama has got, I think it's got about 4 Panktiyan, and it's got 34 pauriyan, so you can do the maths. that's a lot of lines, but this is the one line that really struck out for me. I'm not going to concentrate on it and focus on it, but just to say it's what stuck out for me, and it's something definitely I would like to contemplate on deeper. E man, oh my mind, jaisa seva hai, kende whatever you are serving. And how is it, what does our mind serve? In which way does our mind serve? Pyareo, our mind serves via what it is constantly thinking and remembering again and again, which we call Simran. That's why we will see Seva Hai translated by Professor Sahib Singh to Simran, because whatever we are remembering again and again is called Simran, and that is actually what our mind is serving then. We are serving those thoughts. We are serving that thought. And that thought, Sangat Ji, could be of a past thought that we are having again and again, of how somebody may have said something to us that we didn't like, or they treated us in a certain way. And this is just an example. And that could be our thought that we are serving, which then becomes our Simran, becomes our remembrance. And then depending on what we are remembering is going to then determine the way we act in life. Paat ji says, "E man jaisa seva hai, taisa hova hai." In that way, that's what will happen. Meaning, that's the energy we are vibrating and putting out there. And those are the kind of things that will continue to happen to us again and again, because that's what we are inviting, because that's what's surrounding in our head. And it's actually resounding, it's vibrating out to this, into the universe. And then look at that part. And in those type of karam actions, you will end up earning what you are serving within your mind. So Sangaji, that's very powerful. Contemplate that, Sangaji. And then often we think, oh, where did this come from in my life? Why am I feeling like this? Why this emotion? Why has this happened? Why have they come and spoke to me like this? It's something that you are sowing. You are sowing some form of remembrance within your mind. You've sowed something with your words that you have spoke to somebody. You will have to eat that. Whatever you have sown, Padshah Ji is saying, you are only reaping that. Life is only folding out in that way, in what we are doing from our own actions. And like I say, actions are done in many different forms and ways. They're done with our thoughts, they're done with our emotions, they're done with our speech, they're done with our hands and feet. Kahna kichu na jaye translates to that nobody can there step in and then have any power over the kavana, what is coming from your own actions, because that is then in Waheguruji's hands. Mahapurkha ka bolana. Sangaji, sometimes some of these topics are just slightly switching as well from pauri to pauri, so you'll have to keep up a little bit. Kande Mahapurkha ka bolana. Kande whatever a Mahapurkh speaks. Purkh, Sangaji, means being. Maha, a Mahan, meaning a Sresht, supreme, a supreme being. Somebody that is living and they are vibrating at that higher level of consciousness, Sangaji. Mahapurkha ka bolana, whatever they speak, kande hove kite parthaye, kande is always got a deeper meaning behind whatever they speak. Basically, that's what that means. Oi amrit pare parpura, kande they are filled with amrit. They are filled with sweetness from inside, the sweetness of love and compassion. Kende oi amrit pare parpura hai. Una, when a ha and then ha he no sihari comes. The way you pronounce this is basically you add a dulama to the first ha and it's just pronounced as ha. So ओए अमृत भरे भरपूर है ओ ना खुला ऊड़ा संगत जी, the ऊड़ा is not closed, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਖੁੱਲੇ ਮੂੰਹ ਨਾਲ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਉਹ ਨਾ, so he gives the emphasis of them. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਨਾ ਤਿਲ ਨਾ ਤਮਾਏ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ those Mahapurukhs, they have no till, not even a sesame seeds worth of tamai. Tamai meaning tamanna, meaning desire of whatever they speak for your good. They don't want anything back for it. There's nothing in it for them. They are just speaking pure out of love, Sangat ji, whatever they say to somebody. Gunakari, Gunasangara. Pachi saying, what does a Gunakari do? Gunakari, Pyaro, is that one that is filled with virtues of love and compassion and kima and forgiveness. They are filled with virtues, so they are parupakari. Gunakari means parupakari, those that are there constantly giving out love to others. Gunakari, Gunasangra. Pachi saying Gun Sangra. Sangra means that all they do is they don't look at other people's faults. A true Mahapurukh, a Sant, they Gunasangre, they accumulate, and so Sangre means to collect. What they do is they collect your qualities, they collect your virtues, meaning they will focus on your strong points, your virtues. They won't look at your ogun, they won't sit there and look at your demerits. And what they will do with that is, Gunakari, Gunasangre, Avra Upadesan. And then they will Upadesh, they will help you. Upadesh means to teach, and they will teach you in such a way by looking at your qualities. Just like Guru Nanak Sache Paatshah did with Sajjan Thag. When he brought a plate of food forward for Sache Paatshah, for Guru Nanak Paatshah ji, and Jad Guru Nanak Paatshah ji asked him, what do you do for a living? And he paused for a moment and he thought that I often don't pause. I effortlessly tell people a lie that whatever I do. He goes, but for some strange reason today I can't bring myself to speak, to tell a lie in front of Guru Nanak. It seems like I'm standing in front of a mirror, because that's how pure Guru Nanak Paatshah ji is. So he told the truth, even though he's a thief, even though he loots people their money, but he tries to justify it by doing good with that money and feeding saints. But Paatshah ji did not care for the good that he did with that money. But when Sajjan Thag turned around and said again, and he said, Guru Nanak Paatshah, main ek chor hai, that I'm a thief. Guru Nanak Dev ji Paatshah ji pyareo, just like here Gunakari, Gunasangra, they collected his virtue. Avra Upadesena, they Upadesena, they gave him a teaching accordingly to his qualities. And what was that? Guru Nanak Dev ji Paatshah kende wah, kende pala kita, kende you done really well. Kende no, you didn't hear me, main ta chor, I'm a thief. Maharaj kende pala kita, kende haan. हद होगी, कहते मैं तो चोर है. Paatshah कहते वाह भला कीता. He said, no Maharaj, I'm a thief. And Guru Nanak Dev ji Paatshah said, well done. And he said, no, maybe you didn't hear me right, I'm a thief. Maharaj says, wow, well done again. And he said, why am I getting all these well dones? And Paatshah ji said, because Gunakari, Gun Sangra, because you just spoke the truth. Guru Nanak Dev ji Paatshah ji worked with his truth, and that's what a true Mahapurukh is, pyareo. So then Paatshah ji कहने लगे, कहते सेवट भागी जे सेवट भागी जे उना मिल रहे अनदिन नाम लेन. कहते those are of great fortune, सेवट भागी जे उना मिल रहे, that get to associate and do sangat and be in the company of those type of great beings. कहते अनदिन नाम लेन, that is constantly day and night, that is immersed in the name of God. कहते देसी रिज़्क़ संभाहे जिनु पाई मेदनी. Over here they're talking about now, so next body they've switched to say, now they're talking about Waheguru ji, the one that gives us rizq, the one that is sustaining this entire creation. And then Paatshah कहते एको है दातार, there is only one sustainer. there is only one nurturer, there's one datar, one giver. Paat ji saying, kende sacha aap dhani, and that is our husband Lord. That one himself is the one that is the giver, nobody else. So sach tere naal hai, gurmukh nadar nihal. Kende Paat ji ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ, kende when the Guru actually gives that one, this is a beautiful pankti, just want to try and word it correctly. So sach tere naal hai. Paat ji saying that sach, that Vaheguru ji, that is the ultimate truth, that isn't in the cycle of coming and going, that is constant, that has always been here and always will be. Kende so sach, that one, that true one, tere naal hai, is with you, Guru Amar Das ji. Paat ji saying, kende but with who? Kende gurmukh nadar nihal. Kende with those ones that the Guru gave them the nadar, the sight, to be able to see the truth. Kende ape bakshe mel le. It's Vaheguru ji themselves that bless us to unite with them. So Prabh Sada Samal. Kende they are the ones that constantly then live in the remembrance of Vaheguru ji. Man mela sach nirmala. Kende how is this going to work? This is a question now. The question is, my mind is filthy with the actions that I've been doing in my life. Kende the way I've spoke to somebody, the things I've thought about someone. Kende my mind's filled with filth. Kende man mela. Kende but Vaheguru ji sach chache no onkad, meaning Vaheguru, that one. Kende sach nirmala. Kende that one is pure. Kende so how is this going to work now? For two things to unite, they've got to be the same. So kende kyo kar milya jaye. How can I meet with that one? How can I go and meet with that one? Then it's a question now. Kyo means how. Kende prabh mele ta mil raha ho main shabd jalaye. Kende this is how. The answer is, Guru Sahib ji saying, kende when you burn your home, your ego, through the Guru's word, through following the Guru, you burn your ego. Kende and then what will happen? Kende prabh mele, then Vaheguru ji will unite you with themselves once your ego has gone. Kende ta mil rahe, then you'll remain united forever. Once the ego is gone and you're united, that's it, that's forever then. So shoho sacha visra. But for those that actually forget their true Vaheguru ji, so but those means so means those, shoho means Vaheguru, God, sacha visre, that forget that true one. Kende trig jeevan sansar, in this world they're living, their life is trig, is cursed. Kende what type of life is that? Nadar kare ta visra. Maaf karna, nadar kare na visra. Kende but if that Vaheguru ji glances their vision upon us, then we won't separate from them. Gurmati vichar. How will that nadar come upon us? How will Vaheguru ji glance their vision upon us to unite with them? Can they only through if we've contemplated deeply, meaning if we've become the Guru's wisdom, if we've taken on the Guru's wisdom, we've become the Guru's wisdom. Not just read the Guru's wisdom, not just intellectually understood the Guru's wisdom, but we become the Guru's wisdom. Sadgur mele ta mil raha. That I can only meet Vaheguru ji if my Guru unites me with Vaheguru ji. Sadgur mele ta mil raha. Sach rakha urtar. Then I keep that one enshrined in my heart. Milya hoye na vichhada. Once I meet with that one, there's no separation again. You can't find that droplet of water in the ocean once it goes back in and unites with that ocean. Just like that, once we meet Vaheguru ji, there's no separation ever again. Kende gur ka het pyar. Then Sangat ji, those that have love inside of their heart with their Guru, they are the ones that never separate from Vaheguru ji. Persala hi apna gur ka shabd vichar. Kende through contemplating the Guru's word, can we remain in the praise of Vaheguru ji, of that one. Milapritam Sukapaya, only meeting our beloved Vaheguru ji, that we actually have sukh, we have that eternal bliss. Sobhavanti nar, that wife that meets her husband. Us Sangat ji as being soul brides, meets that husband Lord, Sobhavanti, then we have true Shobha. Shobha Sangaji means we have true glory. Or that can be translated to, then we truly become beautiful. Manmukh man na pijai, but those that are centered around their own mind, and for them it's all about them. Their minds are never become pijai imbued, colored in the love of Waheguru. Atmale, they're completely filled with filth. Chit kathor, because their minds are just completely stubborn. Pachaji is using here an example. This is just like even if you give milk to a snake, sappe dudh piyaye, andar vis nikor. Nikor Sangaji means nirol. Nirol means always, still. Even if you give milk to a snake, but the poison inside of that snake still remains constant. And the milk doesn't take away that poison. And what they're saying is, sometimes a manmukha is that. It doesn't matter how much wisdom you give to them. It doesn't matter how sweet you are to them. But they don't change their ways. Sometimes some just don't change their ways. They remain as they are. So does that mean we stop giving love to them? Absolutely not. Because that means we would be letting go of our gun. But you don't let go of your qualities. You don't let go of them. You've got to remain as you are. But Sangat Ji, we shouldn't have that expectation as well. And we shouldn't get frustrated as well and saying that, why aren't they changing? Yeah, but I'm being nice to them. They should change. There's that expectation in people again. Say, nahi par innu to badalna, main ta innu bathera dudh pilaya, eh halle bhi zehar nal bharya paya. We sometimes might say, but look how much sweetness of milk I've given them. But they still got poison inside of them. For me, look how they're acting. And that sometimes then we feel it's almost like we're finding an excuse not to have to be sweet anymore. So then it comes back down to that expectation, I'm only being nice to you so you can be nice back to me. That's actually not love at all. That's just a saudagri. That is just, a trade, a deal. I'll be nice to you if you be nice to me back. I'm being nice to you because I'm expecting you to be nice back as well. Sangaji, not holding on to that hope of whatever, this is about us. We continue to give that love no matter what. That teaches us such a huge lesson. It's the first time that Pangati, that line spoke to me today when I looked at the Shabad in the morning, and I thought, wow, it doesn't matter. That it doesn't matter what somebody else, if they change or not, because this journey is about this is our journey. And Sangaji, if their heart is open and they open to that love, then that's great. That's a bonus. Oh, Fichardi Kala. Pyare chal, Ao Pacha, the Shabad Valtian, the Ye, Guru Amardas Ji Pach continues. Sacha Shah ho, Sache Vanjare, Kende that Sacha, that true Shah, that true business person, that banker, Wahiguruji, Sache Vanjare, and those that actually come and trade in the true trade. That is what? That is Naam. Otha Kude na Tikan, Pachji can lage, Kende Sacha. There you go. I've missed some panktiyan. Maaf karna. Aap kare kis aakhiye, aape bakshanhar. Aap kare kis aakhiye. Pachaji saying that. See, Sangaji, this is now very deep, and sometimes trying to translate this in a small amount of time can be a little dangerous, but Sadhguru Ji Kirpa karna, I'll try my utmost best. Aap kare kis aakhiye. They're saying, don't forget that it's Wahiguruji themselves that bless us with their grace, that shower their grace on us for us to have any form of experience of that one, for us to open our heart to love and compassion, for us to be more receptive. we can't decide that. That happens with Waheguru Ji's grace. That happens with our Creator's grace that flows in. So the saying that whom can we complain to? Aap kare kis aakhe? Who can we go and say to, oh man, this is so bad that this person, no matter, look how much I've tried with them, no matter how much look how sweet I've been to them, and they're still not opening their heart to this sweetness and they're remaining filled with poison. They says you can't really complain to anyone about that because it's Waheguru Ji themselves that Ape Bakshanhar, that is the one that gives that grace for somebody to even open their heart, for somebody to even then receive that sweetness and then become sweet themselves, Sangat Ji. So we've got to be, this is in itself is very deep, because we have to be in that right place and right position for that grace to flow through in us, for us to experience that grace. We have to be in that place, Sangat Ji. Maaf karna Sangat Ji, a bit of a technical thing, but we've got it sorted. So we can't say, oh my God, I can't believe they're like that. I can't believe that they're not changing. I can't believe that they're not, they're not more, I can't believe that they're not affectionate. I can't believe that they're so insensitive. Can't believe that they don't show their emotions. Because Bible says, Kis aakhe? Who can I complain to when it's you yourself that is in control of the grace that allows somebody to experience love? As fine as that vichar is, as fine as that is what we are contemplating, it's the truth. Because if we had access, if grace was in our hand, for us to just switch on our compassion, to open our heart, then we would just press that button. But no, that button is in Waheguru Ji's hand. So if somebody, we've got to just continue being what we are. And when somebody goes into that position of surrender for that moment, bang, the grace is there. Within that moment, grace comes from surrender. But the kirpa, we don't know how the kirpa is going to happen. We might say a word, I might have that closed heart, I might be kator, I might be that stubborn one, that I might be that one that is under visk, that nikor, I've got the poison inside of me, but I don't know if that one continues to be sweet, I don't know what word of sweetness is going to take me down into that surrendering position of lowering myself, and bang, the grace comes and my heart opens. So whoever is on the giving side of love and compassion, they keep going. They don't wait for them to say, but what's the point? What's the point if they're not going to? So it's beautiful. This is so much depth. It just, anything that you come to hear sometimes in psychology or whatever, it just throws it all out the window when my guru speaks. Wow. Gur Shabdi Mal Uttara, the filth in our mind comes to be washed away with my guru's teachings. Ta sach banaya shingar, and then what becomes my shingar, my ornaments, my jewelry, my decoration, becomes then sach, then it becomes Waheguru, then becomes the truth. Kande sacha shaho, sache vanjare, kande my true Waheguru is the true banker, is the true business person. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੱਚੇ ਵਣਜਾਰੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ what is the true trade? When I trade in my Guru's word, whatever my Guru is saying to me, when I trade in that, when I take that into my life, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ that I make that into my business, ਉੱਥੇ ਕੂੜੇ ਨਾ ਟਿਕਨ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ in that place, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ those that are false cannot endure and remain in that place of truth. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸੱਚ ਨਾ ਪਾਵੇ. There's so many people in this world Pachi saying that the truth just isn't pleasing to them. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਦੁੱਖ ਹੀ ਮਾਹੇ ਪਚਨ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ they just continually remain in pain and suffering in their life. ਹਉਮੈ ਮੈਲਾ ਜਗ ਫਿਰੇ. Pachi saying that this world is wandering around lost in what? In home, in their ego, the ego that is filled with filth and dirt. Those that have got ego of their caste, those that have got ego of their color, those that have got ego of the wealth that they own. And it's saying that's disgusting. It's dirty. These are the words that Guru Amar Das Ji Pachi is using. It's dirty. That will keep him in the cycle of birth and death. Whatever we are doing and earning in this life, there is nobody that can erase that reaction that is coming from the actions that we have done. Santa Sangat mil raha, meeting with the Sangat of saints, being in the company of saints, then we'll start falling in love with the truth, with Vaheguru Ji. Sach Salahi, then we'll praise Vaheguru Ji. Sach Man Dar Sacha Sachiyar Sach Man. And when that one, that true Vaheguru Ji comes to reside deep inside of us, then Dar Sache Sachiyar, and then we'll be known to be the true ones in Vaheguru Ji's court. Gurpure Puri Mataha, Kende Gurpure, the complete Guru's wisdom is complete. And it keeps me in meditation of Vaheguru Ji day and night. The greatest disease that I have is ego. But when I follow my Guru's wisdom, when I embrace my Guru's wisdom, what happens? Then talk means there's a stop that is put on my ego. My ego then can't come anywhere near. Gur Salahi Apna. Pachaji saying here, Gur Salahi Apna. Those that constantly remain in the praise of their Guru, never laga pae, that humble themselves before their Guru and fall in their feet. And they actually completely just give their mind and body to their Guru. Vicho aap gavaye, take away their ego from inside. Kincho taan vi guchiye ek syule velaye. Pachi saying, can they take away this kincho taan, this wandering mind? It's been pulled this direction to that direction. When we don't have a Guru that we focus on, we're pulled this way, that way. And then we ruin, our life is ruined. Pachi saying, can they take that away? That is all taken away for us when we meditate on the one. Home mera chad, home mera. So there's a small pause here. Home, small little comment. Mera, the two separate things. Home is my ego. Mera is that possessiveness that I have that comes from my ego. Home mera chad tu. Can they let go all of this? Can they your ego and this mine? Ta sach rahe samay, and remain absorbed in the truth. Can they Sadguru no mile se paira? Pachaji saying, those that come and unite with the Guru, for the Guru, that is their true brothers. Those that attach themselves to the true Shabad, to the true word of the Guru, Guru Sahib Ji saying, they are my true brothers. Sach mile se na vichhad hai. Sach mile. Once we unite with the truth, then there is no separation again. Dar sache disanne, then we are seen in the core of truth. Se Bhai, se Sajjana, jo sach se van. Guru Sahib Ji saying, they are my true brothers. They are my true friends. Those that serve, meaning those that remember that true one, Vaheguru Ji. Avgan vikkan palaran gun hi sanj karan. They then sell. They give out their avgan, their demerits. And then what do they actually take on? They take on gun, they take on qualities. And that is all they share then. Gun ki sanj sukh upje. When we only look at other people's qualities and we look at their virtues, that's what will give us sukh. That's what will give us true happiness. Sachi bhagat karen. Only when we have got virtues inside of us can we actually devote ourselves to that one. Sach bananje gur shabd syo laha naam len. We'll only be able to trade with that truth. When gur shabd syo laha naam len, when we actually take the shabad, when we take the Guru's word and we immerse ourselves in the name of God. Soina rupa paap kar kar sanchiye. You've earned things like gold and silver, but you've earned it in which way? You've accumulated all of that. How? Sanchiye challe naal. You've done it with paap, through sinning, not in an honest way. Paach challe na chaldeya naal. But when you go from this world, that's not going to travel and go with you. Paach vinnaave naal na chalsi. Nothing other than the name of God is going to be able to aid you when you go from this world. Sab muthi jamkal. Everything else will come and loot us. The jamkal, the jams, the messengers of death will loot everything else from us. But other than the name of God, they cannot touch that. Man ka tosa har naam hai. My mind's food is the name of God. Hirde rakho samal. But it's only when I take the remembrance of God deep into my heart. Eho kharche akhut hai. That spending money will never be exhausted. Gurmukh nibah naal. The Gurmukhs have that money of naam, that wealth of naam with them all the time. E man mulho pullya. This mind has forgotten its origin. Jase pat gawaye. When they leave from this world, they go with losing their honor. Iho jagat mo duja vyapya. This world, so many people of this world are lost in attachment, in falling. They've attached themselves to the illusion. Gurmati sach tiya. But only through receiving the Guru's wisdom, there are those that actually meditate on the truth. Har ki qeemat na pave. Waheguru Ji can never be valued. Har jas likhan na jaye. Nobody can ever write down and estimate the value of Waheguru Ji's praises. Gur ke shabd mantan rappa. But when our mind is imbued in the Guru's shabad, our mind and body, har syo rahe samay, then will remain absorbed in Waheguru Ji. So shaho mera rungula. My Waheguru Ji. Mera shaho Waheguru Ji. Shaho means Waheguru Ji is rangula, is so loving. Range sahaj subah he. I completely remained in love with that one. I remain colored in the color of love for that Waheguru Ji. That takes me to a place of sahaj, to be completely balanced inside. Kaman rang na chade, ja pir ke ank samaye. Kaman rang, keep reading it na, but it's ta. Kaman rang ta chade. Only those minds can be colored in that color of love. Ta chade ja pir ank samaye. If Sangat Ji, when we hold on to Pir Waheguru Ji and become absorbed in Waheguru Ji, then Sangat Ji will be constantly remain in that color of love. Chiri vichunne pi milan. It doesn't matter how long it's been since we've been separated from Waheguru Ji. We can still be united with Waheguru Ji. Those that have given up hope and think it can't happen for me, Bhai is saying it can happen. Jo Sadguru Sevan, when you serve the Guru's word, then even those that have been separated for so long can be united with Waheguru Ji. Antar Navnid Naam hai. And that Naam inside, that is inside of us, is filled with Navnid, the 9 treasures, meaning filled with contentment. Khan kharchane na nikhuttei har gun sahaj raban. That Naam can never come to an end. We will be able to spend that Naam forever. It will never become exhausted. that wealth of naam. Na oe janmai, na marhe, na oe dukh sahan, Paat Singh, na oe janmai. And that one that becomes absorbed in Waheguru Ji, and they then are not in that cycle, they're not born and they don't die. Now oe dukh sahan, they don't have to go through any suffering anymore. Guru Rakhe se ubre, those that are protected by the Guru Sangat Ji are saved in this world. Harsyo kel karan, then they are constantly experiencing, and in that kel Sangat Ji means somebody that is experiencing the love of Waheguru Ji constantly. Sajjan mile na vichhade, those that meet with that true companion, they never separate again. Je anandin mile rahan, if they constantly remain in the remembrance of that one, is jag mein virle janiye hai, nanak sach lahan. Prabhupada is saying there is only those ones are very rare in this world. Jag mein virle janiye hai, know them to be very rare, that sach lahan, that actually embrace that true Waheguru Ji in this life. So Sangat Ji, Guru Amar Das Ji Garib Nath Sache Paatshah ne Kripa Kiti. Paatshah Ji blessed us with these beautiful words today. There are so many gems in this Hukamnama Sahib, and I'm sure you can all find something that really stuck out for you. So those two things that stuck out for me, I can share with you. So the two things for me, Sangat Ji, were, number one, whatever this mind is serving, whatever this mind is remembering is serving, and our actions will be determined by what our remembrance has become. That was one. Number two, Sangat Ji, that stuck out for me was that even if somebody does not let go of their poison, I can't complain to anyone, because the kirpa, the bakshish, the grace is in Waheguru Ji's hands. So we have got to remain patient and tolerant, and not sit on hopes and expectations for that person to change just because we are being sweet. Us being sweet is not conditional. It's because that's just what we are now. So we don't stop being that, because remember, the grace is in Waheguru Ji's hands. So who can we complain to? So these are the two things that really stuck out for me. इतनी एक बेनती प्रवान, एक नहीं पर अनेका गलती हो गई है ना, अनजान बच्चा समझ के बख्श देना। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा।